Hi everyone, welcome to the channel and to this Naboo Lake Country build on Beach Floating Island. In this video, I'm rebuilding my old Naboo villa and extending it to the whole island. It features many new locations like the flower field, waterfalls, aviary house, and gardens with long paths under natural wooden pergolas. Over the last year, we got a lot of new build items, so I was excited to use them for this Star Wars inspired build, trying to recreate the lake country of the planet Naboo. Whether you are a Star Wars fan or not, I think you would still enjoy this build if you like idyllic sceneries, natural decor, and lush greenery. The pattern in this build is very irregular because most of the edges will get covered by river kit and plants and occasional leaf rugs. I'm starting by blocking out the back side of the island with larger trees and clusters to make it look like the island is bigger than it is, and extending some of the tree clusters further on the left side. In the center of the island, we have the Naboo Villa, which I like to have as a main anchor where all the paths lead to. I also love this idea of having a large balcony area in front with the open view on the water to reference the scene with Padma and Anakin from Attack of the Clones when they were staying on Naboo. For the paths on each side of the villa, I am building symmetrical arched walkways using natural wooden pergola set and mixing it with the romance and rose archways and the rainbow rose glass breezeways with the New Orleans gazebo at the end. You can walk all the way through this walkway and it will lead right to the balcony in front of the villa. And with the rose petals falling from the arches, it creates a similar romantic atmosphere like in the movie. To build a balcony, I'm using the elegant stone barrier from Storybook Vale, but it could be easily replaced with a marble fence if Scrooge didn't bless you with it yet. I'm also adding lots of plants along the fences to start creating this overgrown, lush look. Many of the smaller Eternity Isle plants can be placed very close to each other. That's why I'm often using a lot of the same ones. They do look more on the tropical side though. I also added the line of the edge pieces from the river kit to better blend in the foliage and pathing. I'm also adding some petals along the edges, which is absolutely extra, and I would not do this to this extent in my main valley because of the item limit, which is why I love to do this more complex builds on the floating islands, where I can add as many details as I want to bring the vision to final build. I am finishing the front of the balcony with some jungle reeds that can be placed both on water and on the front edge of the island. I'm also adding a couple boats surrounded with water lilies for the beautiful night views. And this time we also have this gorgeous new item added with Pocahontas update, the Moontide Glow Waves, which I'm obsessed with and I want to add it everywhere. After that, I'm adding curved marble benches seating area behind the villa house, which helps to transition to this plaza with the well in the center. And behind it, I will be making a large waterfall feature with the waterfalls on the back and lakes in front, made with the Neverland River Kit. I'm also using the Summer Spectacle Fountain item for that water animation. And I'm using the smaller edges from the river kit to outline the shape of my lakes. And I will be filling it with the inner pieces, with some of them having the spawner on top to add water lilies at the end. I will also go ahead and add some smaller plants in the gaps between fountains and lakes to better blend it all together. And from the distance, it will look like one large water feature surrounded by a lush garden. I also added a couple celestial ponds on each side of the path. It fitted perfectly, and it also helps to add more of that celestial and planetary theme to the build, with addition of the ancient fountains and Naboo hollow tables. On the left side of the island, I placed the Bluebird Aviary house from the seasonal Mega Moonstone pack. This house really is beautiful, and I also find it to match the Naboo theme, which is why I decided to use it on this island. It serves as a greenhouse, and in front of it, I'm making an extended garden with some more waterfalls. I like how these waterfall items help to create more intimate scenes, surrounded with lush greenery. It makes this island look bigger than it is, and like there's something more behind it. This was also a bit extra, but I added a pattern to the floor using flagstone doormat, only to the garden side. I didn't want to use a different flooring to keep it more natural. And with this tile pattern, I wanted to bring more of that visual separation from the main villa area. I will also be adding a few more of the Moontide Glow waves around the island, so when walking around, you can always see it in the distance. It has very beautiful glowing and sparkly animation as well. On the far right side, I am making a picnic area under the elegant gazebo. The gazebo is here to balance out the Aviary house on the left side and also to continue the line of the pergola path. The picnic blanket is actually an homage to the scene where Anakin and Padme had a picnic in the grass fields on Naboo. On the right side of the island, we have some of these rocks on the edge as part of the island landscape, so I added another waterfall feature here. From the Naboo scenes in the movie, we could see that the whole area is surrounded with waterfalls. So surrounding this island with waterfalls made total sense to me. And last but not least, I wanted to recreate the flower field from the movie. We only have this tulip set, which is not the wildflowers like in the movie, but I think this would work for now. I also tried to place tulips in slightly uneven rows to make it look more organic. And I think these little snail guys were a great addition to represent the wildlife of the Naboo Lake Country. Between the picnic, gazebo, and waterfall, I also added a little boat area with more reeds and water lilies to help blend the flower field meeting the water edges. To make the flower field look more natural and wild, I actually added beach grass between tulip rows. This is a totally extra and unnecessary step. I was just having fun with the absence of an item limit. And I was very surprised that the grass can be completely blended with this tulip set. We really could use more items like this beach grass. It can look rather tall and obnoxious, but I think it works for this wild grass flower field. that I most likely will be using for a dream stab or two. And here are some views of the final build of Naboo Lake Country. I hope you enjoyed this build, and the same as me rewatching Attack of the Clones around this time of the year. I always found the scenes from Naboo were to be the most beautiful and inspiring. This is why I made my own little version, and I'm glad to be sharing it with you. Thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate if you leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.